Hello, YouTube. So, I've tried the dating app Hiki, and here are my thoughts. So this starts about 3 weeks ago when I was sitting with the AI, and I was talking about my stuff with it, and I noticed that it would suggest a dating app called Hiki, which is a dating app for neurodivergent people. I like the concept. I like the idea of it. So I decided, okay, I'm going to set up a profile and see what happens, see what this is all about. So I put up my best pictures. I wrote a little bio. I put in all the other settings, and I started liking people and going through the profiles and all that. And the first thing that I noticed was that everyone is like 1,000 miles away. So there's absolutely no one here, which isn't that strange because I'm in Gran Canaria right now. So, I mean, how many people are there here? A few 100,000 people. But, I mean, a few 100,000 people, but not one single person is on Hiki. So what does that tell you about the app so far? I think it's definitely in its infancy so far. I would match with some girls there, and we'd start chatting, and I would mention, just to see how the experience is like for them, about the distance, and they would say the same, like, everyone's so far, far away. So that's the first thing, which makes it kind of strange because it's like a dating app. Like, if you're that far away from people, then how are you going to meet them? So it's more like become friends online type of a deal. So that's more like what I think the app it really is at this point, at least. It might change, and I think if you live in a bigger city, if you were in New York, if you were in London, if you live in like big compressed cities, then sure, I think you'll probably get better results. I would match with quite a lot of women from South America. So I don't know if they've like done a marketing thing there or like what's going on, but seem to be a lot of South American women there. Now, here's like for me, when I think about dating, I want to date people in real life, right? So I don't want to be pen pals with someone online because, well, why do I want to? For one, it's like I don't know who they are. All I know is based on their photos and the info in their profile, right? If I'm on a dating app, I want to actually meet someone. I don't want to do like cyber dating. So just because of that, because the people are so far away, makes it just a no-go for me. But I'm interested to see what it looks like in, a couple of years from now, if they've been able to increase the user base. And I'm also interested to see what it's like when I come back to Norway, if there are some people there very close. Now, that's the one thing. So that's the distance, which is for me problematic. Now, the second thing that I find a little bit, for me, I wouldn't say it's like a turnoff because that's not the right word to use, but what makes it problematic for me is that it's very much focused on your diagnosis. So I think everyone there, they're like very much, most of the people there just figured out that they are either autistic or they have ADHD or they have a mix or some other neurodivergence. And the main focus on the app is specifically your neurodivergence, right? So most of the conversations will naturally flow towards, getting a diagnosis and what it's been like, and if if you've ever dated someone who is neurodivergent. I think, like, from a dating standpoint, I don't think it's a very good idea to have your interactions, just be based around your diagnosis, because there's so many other things, about a person than a diagnosis. Who are they, their interests and whatnot. So if I ever were to go on a date, we'll see when I go back to Norway, maybe there are more people there, right? So I'll go on a date. which I'd be very interested in doing, just because I don't think I've ever. Well, I know I've been on dates with neurodivergent women, but not anyone that have like told me and been open about it. So I would be very interested in trying to go on a date with someone from Hiki. But I would not focus on the diagnosis when I meet them, because I think that'll just become a friendship right away, because there'll be no tension. They'll just be talking about, here are my problems, what are your problems, right? I don't think it's a good starting point for a relationship or a date. Now, with that said, I think it's a good thing that this app exists, and I think people could definitely benefit from it. And I think with the number of people that are now getting their diagnosis in adulthood, which I think is it's just growing and growing and growing. Like, I got my diagnosis at 35, and I mean, if you're interested in checking it out, by the way, I made a little PDF, put together a PDF and a little video that shows you how I fixed my dating life, going from unkissed at 26 to living the dating life of my dreams. And I do that as an autistic man, and I figured my dating life out, how to do it, how to be successful at it before I got my diagnosis, which could be interesting for a few people, I think. So check it out if you want to. But again, back to Hiki, I think a lot of people could be vulnerable. I noticed that some of the women that I talked to, they were feeling like very depressed and very sad, and to me, I kind of felt, I had a lot of empathy. That's what I felt. But I also know for me that I can't go into a relationship or a dating situation with someone who becomes very dependent on me, because I just wouldn't be able to deal with it, because I wouldn't be able to break up at some point if I had to. I would find that to be very difficult, and that wouldn't be right for anyone. So I do feel like a lot of the people there are very vulnerable, and obviously they want to meet someone who is non-judgmental, and maybe also someone who is like non-threatening. And I think maybe if you both have a diagnosis and you come together, maybe it'll be a non-threatening or feel like a non-threatening environment. I don't know. But these are my thoughts from Hiki. To sum it up, I'm very curious to see what happens over the coming years. For now, not for me, but I'm going to test it when I come back to Norway. We'll see. And as always, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. If you've used it, if you have had some experience with it, let me know in the comments below, and we'll chat there. All right. Talk to you later.